Hey scrappers, welcome back to another video. So as I said yesterday, or my last video rather, we will just be taking apart these small motors, these small fan motors, and possibly carrying on with the further bits and pieces. So let's jump straight into it. Piece of aluminium, plastic, look at that, beautiful copper. There. And also look at that oil. So I'm just pulling out the steel bearing and this thrust washer type. I'm not going to worry about that. Get some of the grease out, but it's not too critical. But that's definitely steel. Yes. So is that. So there we have a bit of steel, mainly plastics though. So there's your squirrel cage rotor. So that just goes as mixed alley, irony alley. I mean, it's probably very negligent. Actually, I could probably just throw that in this shred pile. But you know, get alley, we get irony alley price for it. So put it in there. Why not? Same again on the other part, the other cover. Take out the bearing and then the steel washer. Clean up the grease. So there you have it, so some nice cheap aluminium. Some nice aluminium. They appear to be stainless, but that's stainless, but when you stick the magnet on it, it's not, there's a little bit of an attraction there. Goodness gracious, man, this one's stubborn, threaded. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just taking off these high points so that I can better access the copper. We've got to do the same on this side. It's probably a lot harder. Oh no, quite simple actually. I mean, I don't have a vise, so that's why I'm doing it all like this by hand, and that's why, in a way, these bigger motors that I have, I put them aside because I don't have a vise. I simply just don't have the necessary leverage to do those big motors. Whereas these little ones, they're not too bad. So pretty much what I plan to do now is, depending on the size and the thickness of this copper, I will just cut down the center of it. But first I'll do the scratch test to see if we actually have copper and not just copper coated aluminium wire. No, that's copper. You can see it's nice and pink. So if this works, let's hope so. So I'll just cut down the middle of this copper here gradually. And then go over to the copper bin and go turn it over like the motors, and then just proceed to gradually pull it out like so. And then we just do the same again on this side. And hopefully, if you do it right, unlike myself, it shouldn't get snagged on the corner of the lamination. But in this case mine did. And that's why it's not coming out so easily. There you go guys, it's all nice and stripped. I'll clean that plastic off shortly. Just continue with this one. Now looking at this one, I won't need to clear it off because I've just noticed that there's gaps here, so I'll just cut down the middle of this, the flush cutters, and flip it over, and then just proceed to grab it gently and pull it out from its slot. And there we go, that's all nice and stripped. So now we just come back over here and just cut off this cable here. And then you don't actually need to really take all this plastic off. I mean, as I say, it goes through their shredder which sorts it out. So we can just essentially leave it on there, but because I'm here and doing this now, just continue with it. Just cut all the copper strands off, cut all the solder ends off. Just put that in the jug. There we go, a nice big piece of lamination. Now if you really want to, see down in here, in there are copper as well, but I don't know if I'll be able to get into it, so no, I won't be able to get into it. So unfortunately with these ones I'll just have to leave them, I can't bend those out of the way. So that's that done. Just continue taking this one apart. Right, so there we have it. That's nice and stripped. It's all just rubbish, plastic. So I'll just do a quick clean up here and then get into something else. Welcome back, guys. So we'll just carry on with some of these relays and see what form of copper content we can remove from them. So as I've said in the past, usually I remove the plastic casing or a rubberized sheath around these terminals, but because these are hard plastics, I won't bother with them just yet. So I'll just put them straight into my terminal bin. Right, so how hard? It shouldn't be hard at all to unravel that. As you just saw, sometimes it's hard to tell when everything is that close which is steel and which is not. It's not only until you've separated it to a finer point you realise that the whole thing was steel. So essentially this bit here, after I've taken out the brass bit, is all steel. See, sometimes these contacts aren't all, you know, some of them actually have a very small amount of steel content in them, which makes them magnetic. I'll just hold on to them now though, I won't throw them away. So that's steel, that's going to be steel. So there we have it, guys, down to the last bit now. Let's pull that off the top there like so, throw that out. Snap that top off, and then we just pull all this nice grade 2 copper off the spool here. Throw that in the rubbish, and that can go in the copper bin. And that's, I'll just continue quickly unraveling all this. So there you have it, guys. Those relays weren't really different in principle, really. The copper content was a little bit thicker as opposed to being, you know, usually finer. There's a little bit of brass, a little bit of braided copper braid here. Some terminals with some hopefully silver contact in them. So I'll put those into a container. Some terminals. And the motors before that with a decent amount of copper in them. So I hope that was a bit of fun for you all. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers!